What's up everyone, it's Scotty with MoneyVest. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Tesla stocks, so lots to discuss and unpack. This video is going to be mostly geared towards the technical analysis on Tesla. So we're going to do a complete analysis based on support and resistance levels. We'll talk a little bit about the price, volume by price chart, and also about different moving averages. Where's a big supply wall, and you know what I'm doing personally moving forward with Tesla. As you already know, it's one of my biggest positions, and where I see the support levels, and of course what I'm going to be doing with puts and calls moving forward. As always, if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, make sure that you drop a like and of course subscribe to the channel. The first week of the month is the best time to join. You can access over 50 private videos that are members only, including my entire 30 stock shopping list, as well as buy targets included, with light buy targets, heavy buy targets, and my fair values. MoneyVest Index is also going to be included, as well as a lot of other actionable videos that you can take advantage of. And also, do connect with me on Instagram. My handle is going to be CastWRP, and we're having a sale for all individual courses up to half off, 50% off, and that's coupon code going to be May50 if you want to take advantage of that. That's going to be running for the entire month of May, so expires at the end of this month. So link's going to be down below if you're interested in joining, and of course, taking advantage of these sales here. So this was a video that came out about 12-13 hours ago. Tesla is just a car company masquerading as a tech company. This is from Byrene Capital, and they are short on the stock. So this person is short, even though they mentioned that it's only 1 to 2% of their overall portfolio, and they expected Tesla could easily drop 50%. Short seller basically says, and we know the history of short sellers with Tesla stock. They've almost always been burned on their short positions, especially is if there's one thing that Tesla investors and Tesla in general doesn't like, is short sellers, and squeezes have been very, very aggressive on Tesla in the last couple of years here. As we have seen, it's gone parabolic multiple times on the back of these short squeezes. Now, coming over to the technical analysis. Now, this is the most important piece, because Tesla, as volatile as it is, it also is a very, very good stock to be trading options on. So if I basically go over the options chain, so let me just quickly bring up a random options chain for Tesla. So let me just do that here. Boom, right here, option prices, and we're going to take a look at them together and what my plans are moving forward. So this is going to be Tesla's options chain. And what I really did was, a couple days ago when Tesla actually rallied, on the back of that Beijing approval from the driver assistance program, it was trading all the way up to as much as $198, $200. This is why technical analysis is so important, because you can actually identify areas of resistance and areas of support and supply and demand, and better understand and take advantage of when to sell calls, when to sell puts. Because we understood and knew that there was a big supply for Tesla here inside this red rectangle, immediately sold calls. A couple of covered calls, should have actually sold more than that, for well over $5.30, right? So that was a premium. Today, those calls are trading for 60 cents on the dollar, right? So significant decrease for those calls. So if you come over to, those were, I believe, May 31st. If you come to May 31st and you look at $225 calls, 225.59 cents is the bid, right? So that's the bid that we're looking at. These calls were selling for over $5 3 days ago, right? So that's how much significant decrease we've seen. 11% change lower now, even today. So they're practically worthless almost, right? So I'm waiting for them to be down to like 10 cents or 20 cents on the dollar, and then I'll be just buying them back and closing out my position. The next time it gets up to over $200, if Tesla gets up to that level, so back into that supply area and that resistance, once again, it's going to be a rinse and repeat process for myself. I'll be looking at strikes up in the 260s at that point. Again, because of the volatility, because of significant premiums on the way up on calls, we can get some decent numbers getting up to 260s. Ideally, there will be another resistance here. That's the lower high that I want to keep in mind for all of you. That's the white line you see on the chart. That's the lower highs. So Tesla is still very much in the context of this downtrend, right? So this is the lower highs and the lower lows, and then a much steeper downtrend over here. Lower highs and lower lows, and then it got a little bit of a breakout over here. So I am somewhat confident that, okay, Tesla eventually may have the potential to break out above this resistance and this supply area of $200, 200 to 210, and then retest up to as high as 240. So that's going to be that next target. And then beyond that, we've got much stronger and a much bigger area of supply here in the 300. So that's going to be that next area of resistance inside this red rectangle at around 290 to 299, so closer to $300 per share. Now, there's also opportunities for us to be looking at puts, not just selling calls, but also selling puts. So if you come over to, again, the put section, and we're looking at May 31st, so that's, again, less than 30 days out. Ideally, the price that I picked up Tesla more recently was in the 145, so I sent out the alert that I'm picking up Tesla at 145, picked up some shares because I think the lowest it got down to recently was around 140. I picked it up around 145, about 10 shares, nothing crazy, so just wanted to dollar cost average a little bit at those prices. And of course, since then, it rallied 36%, sold calls, closing them out, and it's now trading at a very nice support at 177. So this green line you see on the chart, very, very important level of support in the near term, all the way down in the 150s. Now, 150s could also be a nice strike for Tesla, but the premiums are not that high. We're only looking at 73 cents to as much as 79 cents. So if you really just do the math on these 150 strike puts, 150 minus, let's say, 75 cents minus 0.75, we're looking at a cost basis of 149.25. So 0.75 divided by 149.25. We're looking at a return on collateral of about 0.5%. In the next 28 or 27 days. On an annualized basis, that's about 6%. And the treasury yield is also at around 5.5%, right? So it really doesn't make sense to be selling puts right now, unless, of course, it is almost free money, because the probability of this expiring in the money is really low, because let's see if you have the delta. So 0.06. So really, really low delta here. So the probability of this expiring in the money and Tesla dropping down to 150 in the next 27 days is really low. So that, again, is going to be free money, 73, 77 cents per contract, which, again, for 100 shares is about $77, give or take. So that is also an option. But of course, at lower prices, put premiums are going to increase. At higher prices, call premiums are going to increase. So it's really kind of selling puts versus selling calls, depending on market conditions and where we are with Tesla stock at the moment. But in the meantime, of course, you already know that I'm holding for the long term, because the fundamental story is still valid and still very much in play as Tesla continues to execute. And I do believe that the low for the operating margins are already in. Unless we see a lot of disruptions, unless we see more price cuts, which I don't think we are going to get a lot of aggressive price cuts, maybe a few here and there, but most of the operating margin compression, in my opinion, is already behind us for Tesla. Now, if we draw out the price by volume chart here since, let's say, 2020, in the last 4 years, majority of that volume has actually been exactly where Tesla got rejected here at 190s. So you can see the majority of the volume, the big thicker bar that you see over there. If you scroll in a little bit, that ends up exactly where the price traded up to after the Beijing catalyst at 192 to as much as 199, and then sold right back down. And more importantly, the red rectangle that you see, the first one over here, this is where that first area of supply is for Tesla, right? Because it's previously acted as a huge support, it's acted as a huge resistance, then it acted as a huge support, and it's now acting as a huge resistance again. So huge wall of supply. The moment it gets up to 199, 200, it's an easy call for me to sell calls at those prices beyond 230s and 240 strikes. And if it gets rejected, fantastic. Even if it doesn't, I'd be lightening up on that position and de-risking a little bit. And that next resistance target is going to be 300. Then I'll be selling even more calls in the 320s and 340s. But for now, sitting tight, support level 170. If it does break down below this, next week we'll be looking at selling puts down in the 130s and 140s, depending on put premiums. And of course, looking at deltas as well. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Tesla is, in my opinion, one of the best stocks to be trading options on if you know and understand how to trade them well. And again, I do believe, fundamentally speaking, there's a lot of headwinds that are now behind us. A lot is dependent on macro policy with respect to what the Federal Reserve ends up doing with interest rates. But the bottom line is I remain optimistic over the long term, and I do believe that there is still a car company, still an EV company, unless, of course, a lot of the things that Elon Musk has promised us come into fruition and it's able to execute well over the next 5 to 7 to 10 years out. So hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. Again, May 50 is going to be that coupon code for the month of May for all individual courses, 50% off. And also do join us for our Patreon and our Discord. Link's going to be down below. The first week of the month is the best time to join. So always happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.